Today, the top.
First day, first match. Do you have any fighting words?
The wait is over. This,
we know a lot of their players personally, and
Royale League. Today's very first match in North America features two teams who need no introduction, but I'll introduce them anyway. Self-proclaimed homegrown underdogs, Tribe Gaming, versus one of eSports' most legendary teams, Complexity Gaming. Let the battle begin!
Hello and welcome to the inaugural season of Clash Royale League. I'm Rich Slayton. Joining me is Inverum, aka Paul Toddkill. This is huge. This is the very first professional league for our favorite game, Clash Royale.
This is the North American region where 8 of the best esports organizations on Earth are competing. I'm talking giants, legends like Immortals, Cloud9, and TSM.
All 8 teams will play each other twice. The 4 teams with the best record will go on to our playoffs, and the winner of that will represent North America in the World Finals.
And make sure you hit that subscribe button right here on the Clash Royale esports page to follow all the action.
And it all starts right now with a great matchup between Tribe Gaming and Complexity.
Let's talk about this Complexity roster. You have to talk about the veterans, Colton W83, Adrian Piedra. These guys know how to play.
And then on top of that, you have Tribe Gaming across from them, no slouches themselves.
The upstart org, but of course, they've got some dominant members as well. I'm really looking for Oxalate to go off.
Let's take a moment and join our teammate, Christy St. John, who's standing by with Clash Royale legend and owner of Tribe Gaming, Chief Pat.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Christy, Chief Pat. You've been with Clash since day one. How does it feel to see it turn into a professional league?
yeah, this is really an amazing moment. I mean, for us here at Tribes, only starting up last year and to now be participating in an 8-team league with some legendary organizations like Complexity is pretty amazing, and being here in Los Angeles is definitely a dream come true.
Absolutely. And you've had a transition as well. How does it feel to go from YouTube content creator to team owner?
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit different. As a YouTuber, you sort of just sit in your office and no one actually relies on you. But here we have, a team house with a coach, management. Now we have, at Tribe Gaming, over 20 players under contract. So it's been much different. And the Clash Royale has definitely been our biggest adventure to date.
Absolutely. Feels very adult.
I don't like it. Well, actually, I do like it. This is going to be awesome.
Final question. First day, first match. Do you have any fighting words?
Yeah, well, honestly, going against Complexity, they're a great organization. We know a lot of their players personally, and personally, I'm excited to see Oxalate and Colton go off and see who's going to win the big brother, little brother matchup. So we'll see who comes out on top.
All right, guys, back to you.
Thanks, Christy. We are moments away from the first ever matchup in CRL. Before we get started, let's tell you how things are going to work.
So it all starts off with our 2v2, a relatively new format here in competitive Clash. After that, we go to the 1v1. It's the Clash Royale you know and love. And following that, if we need to, our ace match, the deciding game, we're going to go to our King of the Hill. We'll talk about that a little bit more when we get there.
Right now, both teams are setting their lineups, preparing their 2v2 and 1v1 matchups. Let's go inside the war room with Tribe Gaming.
I don't think it needs a spell, to be honest. I don't think it needs a spell.
Saying you should sub it out for something?
Yeah, probably Snowball.
Floater freeze. No, I don't think it needs a spell.
Okay.
I don't think you need a spell.
We don't need a single spell.
No spell.
No single spell?
No spell. Maybe spells are just a waste of elixir. They don't do much tower damage.
Double head expo, game 1.
You guys, listen, we have prepared harder and we prepared smarter than any other team here. You guys know it, all right? So let's rely on that preparation. Have peace of mind, right? Knowing that we are confident. You guys were born to be on this stage, all right? So let's go out there and give it our best. We have 2v2, Colton and Razzer. Our bands are Tornado and Freeze, right? You guys know what you're gonna play?
Yep. Yeah, we have a good idea.
They've strategized. They've set their lineups, but the time for talk is done. It's time for battle. Tribe and Complexity. Send your 2v2 combatants into the arena.
The king has spoken, and it's time for our first ever match for Clash Royale League. The lineups are set, and it is a doozy representing Tribe Gaming, Oxalate and Jmonte.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a stellar lineup. When you look at how flexible Jmonte is with the veteran status of Oxalate, put these two guys together, they are a force to be reckoned with.
A combined win rate of around 64.5%. They are no joke. Across from them, though, Complexity, Colton W83 and Razzer.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a sick matchup. Colton W83, a hardcore analytic, loves the numbers of the game, is going to be bringing it here to this matchup, breaking this down, because of course 2v2 is still very much the Wild West. It's still pretty unknown.
And now we're about to find an important part of the strategy in this matchup, the ban card. Each team has a chance to eliminate one card from competition, help make strategic choices, and ensure that their deck will lead them to victory.
Oh yeah, this is a huge part of the strategy of Clash Royale, denying the card that is going to be pivotal to your opponent's success. We see Tribe Gaming denying the freeze here, and of course Complexity going to be eliminating that tornado. Let's talk about these picks.
The freeze ban is fascinating. It says to me that Tribe's expecting some big pushes, potentially Lava Hound, potentially Golem. When you put that freeze, when you have a big lava pup blast across the board, it can be so dangerous. Tornado now, a great combination card, especially big value in 2v2. You can gather up all those troops, potentially rocket them, hit them with a fireball. Tornado made a big appearance in CRL Asia, and we expected to see that banned here today.
Oh yeah, you have double the minions on the board, you get double the value. I think these are smart bans from both teams, and denying the freeze, again, I think that could be indicative if they want to run some fun beatdown stuff themselves, deny the card that's going to shut them down.
And here we go, the first ever matchup of Clash Royale League. It's time for 2v2s.
All right, let's get into our very first game here. The action is already underway. We see a mortar being dropped here on the left-hand side, quickly cleaned up. The Valkyrie flying machine making this push.
Tribe Gaming so far playing more defensive. We see poison in the hand, ready to be played. We expected that. We expected that to be a ban card, and now we're going to see how much value that can get, especially there on that minion horde.
Oh yeah, instantly shutting that down, but the mortar is still firing, getting that lock there onto the tower and getting off a few crucial shots, throwing the goblins, the miner there as well. This is a lot of pressure on the left-hand side, but the snowball to shut it down.
Did not expect to see the giant snowball make an appearance today, but against a fast, small deck like the one that Complexity is playing, that can be a huge card.
Oh yeah, really watch for that to sort of reset this, but there we're seeing the Lava Hound, we're seeing the push now being mounted here, but the fireball is coming in. The Inferno Dragon not actually getting that key lock initially here, not actually finding the lock on the Hound at all.
Interesting choice here with banning that freeze card, maybe a bit of gamesmanship. It turns out Tribe Gaming the ones playing that Lava Hound, getting those pups on the board.
Oh yeah, Freeze so good at shutting down those pups when they spawn. But once again, we're seeing that mortar doing its work. The bats here as well. And that's a nice zap to reset this fight.
As we reach the midpoint of this match, really, really close here, just a slight lead for Complexity.
Oh, yes, indeed. Neither side really, though, being overly aggressive to start this off. Definitely playing this a bit of a slower pace.
Now you get the Inferno Dragon blocked by the Goblin Gang, trying to find a lock onto the mortar, but no, 2-3 hits from that mortar, doing its work, building a lead on that left-hand tower.
This mortar is MVP. That is one of the best mortars I've ever seen in competitive 2v2.
For a 2v2, didn't expect to see mortar, but cycling it through so fast, especially against that Lava Hound on the left side, it is doing work, and now we have the Inferno Dragon cutting that Lava Hound down. Complexity really putting the pressure on.
Oh yeah, keeping up that pressure. There is the poison as well. Not getting a ton of value though, getting some key initial damage there onto the mortar and the tower, but still a nice push being mounted.
Tribe Gaming probably preparing another Lava Hound push in a moment, playing some defense, getting ready to try to even this thing up as we move towards the end of regulation.
Oh yes, indeed, and there is the push. Once again, the Lava Hound is there, the Inferno Dragon to shut this down. It is going to get the lock. Will they be able to reset that with the zap? No, not finding it yet. The mortar there as well. There it is going to be, but a nice defense here coming out from Complexity.
No real answer for that Inferno Dragon for Tribe Gaming. You know, you think about the Lava Hound, you'd have a game plan for that one. Not at the moment, and so far the Inferno Dragon. But oh, we get an Inferno Dragon lock on the left-hand tower, but a zap, and there you go. Complexity Gaming takes the first ever game of our first set of 2v2 here at Clash Royale League.
That rocket going flying across the field, saving that till the very end, using that to get that final kill there on the tower. That was exactly what they were looking for. Let's watch this back again. So many amazing individual plays. All the action focused on the left-hand side, but that rocket, that really sealed the deal.
That rocket didn't quite have enough to finish the tower on its own, but luckily Complexity had that zap in cycle, ready to put it away. That's the kind of finish that we love here, why we enjoy the game Clash Royale so much. You had the Inferno Dragon lock. It looked like Tribe might steal this match, but again, you have Complexity, you have Colton, you have Razzer making the great play, and that's what communication with 2v2 is all about. They knew they had those cards in cycle, and they could finish that left-hand tower and seal this victory.
I love it. Keeping it in their pocket, having it there for when they finally needed it, bringing it out, the ringer in that moment, that rocket. It felt like just flying across the screen like, oh, this is going to be it. This is going to be the end. And they needed to do that exactly at that moment because, as you said, that push going on the left-hand side for Tribe, that could have spelled disaster.
Here we go for match number 2 of this set. Can Tribe Gaming even it up, make it 1v1, or is Complexity to close out the first ever set of Clash Royale League 2v2? Let's go to the action.
All right, let's get into game number 2 here. If Complexity take this, they will take the set 2-0. So Tribe needs to rally here. Seeing relatively similar decks coming out. Looks like some slight shifts have been made. And is that
a Royal Giant? Not a card we expected to see here at 2v2. Hasn't been a big part of the 2v2 meta so far that we saw emerge in the CRL 15-win 2v2 challenge. But here it is, looking like it's going to make an appearance very, very soon.
Taking some inspiration from CRL China. Complexity constantly looking to push the meta here. So we have the Giant Skelly pushing in. Now the Skelly himself, he's not super threatening, but he drops that big bomb. Oh boy, you better watch out.
The E-Wiz, a perfect counter to the Inferno Dragon, but not doing enough to let that Giant Skeleton get on the left-hand tower. But here we go, a big push from Complexity Gaming. That Royal Giant trying to find a way through the lock on that left-hand tower.
And a Miner doing a great job of keeping the aggro in the back as well, allowing the Royal the Giant to get some initial shots here. The Dark Prince going in as well. And wow, what a solid, convincing push here for Complexity, getting quite a lot of initial chip damage in.
A little around 600 now, about 800-point lead on the left-hand tower for Complexity Gaming, out again to an early lead in this second match of our first set.
And looks like we're going to be seeing a fun Lava Loon variation coming out here from Tribe. We have a lot of big air pressure here as well. I'm really going to watch for how Complexity shuts that down because they might not have all the right tools to deal with that.
A large push on the left-hand side, building for Tribe. That Tombstone pulling the aggro of the balloon over to the right, not going to get on the tower, not going to get death damage. Great defense here from Complexity.
Oh yeah, and all the while that left-hand tower is getting chunked down. Look at the push coming in, the arrows there trying to reduce it, but oh man, the Dark Prince is there in the tower getting the initial shot. Beautifully done. This is exactly what Complexity wants.
As we move into double elixir time, Tribe's left-hand tower under 200 within fireball range. I think we might expect to see Complexity play defense, maybe put some pressure on that right-hand lane.
Oh yeah, they want to make sure that they have opened up this win conditions, and you called it there, the Miner going down instantly, but you have to deal with this Lava Hound here on the left-hand side. But already you see the Flying Machine's going to look to disrupt this. There's the Poison as well. This is all on Tribe right now. They need to mount a push. They need to make something happen.
30 seconds left as we approach the end of this match. That left-hand tower down to 600. Can the balloon get a lock and drop a bomb? And there we go.
That was exactly what they needed. I cannot believe the balloon made it there. They are able to trade out here with only 20 seconds left on the clock, but what a close match right now. Both of these teams have done a lot of initial damage here. We are going to go into OT, and this is where things are going to start to reset. How teams play this out, where the patience comes in, this is the mark. The consummate professional, this is where it comes online.
Things pretty much even as we go into our sudden death overtime. Tribe trying to make that push on the right-hand side. Look at the value they're getting from Poison. Again, that's one of the cards we expected a ban for. There's no ban for it today. And now, with about a 600-point lead on the right-hand side, Tribe looking to tie things up.
That Poison value was absolutely incredible, but the push is now coming out in response here for Complexity. The Royal Giant is wading forward through the fray. The Miner in the back always to help keep that pressure off. And look at how much damage this is doing. They have found out how to execute this combo, taking inspiration from CRL China and making it their own.
The Royal Giant gets a lock, 2 hits from the E-Wiz, and now Complexity with a slight lead. But we have a push developing in the back for Tribe Gaming. who can get their lock on the Inferno Dragon, gonna take care of that giant skeleton. This is anybody's matchup. Will it get a hit? Will we get that damage?
Look at that push coming in. The Dark Prince getting it forward, and I believe that is gonna be it. What a fantastic push. That Dark Prince coming in. That giant skeleton had super speed and boots charging in on the lane, and wow.
Huge play. You know, the question was, would that giant skeleton get through? But here is the thing that set up all the drama. That balloon just barely making it all the way to the tower, getting that kill, sending us into sudden death, but they could not make the push. Look, you had a great performance from Oxalate and Jmonte, two fantastic players who made this thing very interesting, but in the end, you have Colton, you have Razzer, and Colton's one of those guys who just can't be denied. They fell behind a little bit there in our overtime in that sudden death, but made the plays they need to make, and there you go, Complexity takes the first round as we move towards our 1v1 matchup.
2v2 is in the books, but a 1v1 showdown is at hand. Will we see a sweep or an epic rally? I genuinely can't contain myself right now. That giant skeleton freaked me out. But 1v1 combatants, now is the time. On to the arena!
The king has spoken, and what he wants, he gets. It's time for 1v1 here in this matchup for Clash Royale League. Representing Tribe Gaming, 19-year-old B-Rad from Canada.
Oh yeah, gotta love it. Representing the Great White North, B-Rad, known for his control play. Let's see some minor in there from as well. This guy's gonna make some big plays.
And across from him for Complexity, Adrian Piedra with a 66.32% win rate out of Mexico. One of the best players, best known guys in Latin America.
Oh yeah, the Latin American superstar. This guy is an absolute beast. He is what a tough opponent for Tribe Gaming in game number 1 here in our first 1v1. Complexity, they're gonna look to seal this out 2-0.
Now we have a new round of ban cards for each matchup. Here for 1v1, both players making their choices. B-Rad getting rid of the Zappies, while Adrian Piedra getting rid of the Valkyrie, one of the most powerful cards in the game. That says to me, Piedra's gonna be playing probably a lot of fast, small cards, maybe some Swarm. On the other side, you have those Zappies, can get rid of a lot of cards that have to reset, especially that Inferno Dragon.
Every time I see a Valkyrie ban, my mind goes towards Royal Hogs. Let's see if they make an appearance here in this game. That could be a lot of fun to see.
One of the biggest new cards, those Royal Hogs, very dangerous. Yeah, when we see that Valkyrie out of the game, we expect a big Swarm, and they've made a big splash since the last update. We are moments away from that first 1v1 matchup. Will Tribe take the victory and send us to that King of the Hill overtime? Or will Complexity close things out and get the first ever win here at CRL?
All right, here we go. The very first 1v1 matchup of the Clash Royale League. Rich, this is going to be one heck of a matchup.
Both players starting, no, not that patient. The Mega Minion making an appearance on both sides of the board.
Mega Minion just fluttering his way out. We do see the Ice Golem as well. Nothing really giving away too much here for either side. The Lumberjack will be shutting that down, but here comes the Hog as well. The Giant there, standing tall on the bridge.
A big push starting from Adrian Piedra early, but the Cannon Cart, one of the new most popular cards in the game, trying to cut that Giant down, and it gets one hit on the tower, but doesn't do a ton of work.
Doesn't do a whole lot here, and a nice sap as well. Start to slow that down. Actually, pretty decent value, all things considered here, as the Mega Minion's going to get one more swipe there on the tower. Nice initial chip coming in from Adrian.
So we see a lot of firepower so far on the side of B-Rad. Haven't seen a spell yet. Now Cannon Cart makes an appearance for Adrian Piedra on both sides. We did expect to see a lot of that card in this tournament.
Oh yeah, Cannon Cart in such a good position right now. Just gets so much value because even once you take it down the first time, you got to do it all over again.
But a great stop, not going to get a tower lock. The Mega Minion getting tons of value for B-Rad, and now he counter pushes with that Hog Rider.
The Hog is going in. The Lumberjack is going to be there to shut it down. Only one swing connecting and pushing through this Giant here. Nice positioning there on that Giant as well. It's getting a speedy boost all the way into the tower.
And there we go, the Lumberjack almost getting the good lock on the Cannon Cart, but a fantastic tornado played by B-Rad, getting some value, keeping the Giant off his tower.
And we see this tried and true combo. We see the Tornado, we see the Ice Wizard. Just gets so much initial synergy there as well. You get the slow, you get the pullback, and so much control with that.
pretty much even as we approach double elixir time. Still 2 cards yet to be seen from B-Rad and 1 in the hole for Adrian Piedra. And there we go, the log, traditional card paired with the Hog Rider.
Oh yeah, this is what we're used to seeing, and there comes the rocket as well. Going to be getting that initial damage there onto that tower, slowly whittling it down, and great placement on that cannon. Great value there for B-Rad, one of the best Canadian players.
Keeping the cannon cart out of the offensive side of the board. Fantastic play for B-Rad, but he has to defend this big-time push coming from Adrian Piedra. The cannon cart locking on, trying to chip down, but now we switch sides with that Lumberjack doing some work on the left-hand tower.
Great defense from B-Rad there, using that Ice Golem to pull that Lumberjack all the way across the board, denying a lot of the meat of this push here. Still a lot of damage coming in, though, from Adrian Piedra. But still, this is a pretty decent hold there from B-Rad. That could have been so much worse.
We are just 10 seconds away from sudden death overtime. We still have not yet seen the final card from Adrian Piedra. What kind of tricks might he have up his sleeve?
I love this, holding this in the back pocket, keeping B-Rad guessing here as we start to cycle in now. Sudden death, it's all on the line now for these players, both playing fairly conservative game, neither one wanting to really overcommit here. There's the Hog Rider in as well, gonna get that pressure in the Lumberjack, gonna be shutting that down in an instant, but really, I'm watching for this Giant here and what he can build behind this push.
One big hit from the Hog Rider on the right-hand side for B-Rad, but that push. Now, here's the great part about using the cannon cart against the Giant. Once it goes down, it becomes a building, pulling aggro and getting the Giant off that right-hand tower with slight lead as we go. Continue along in this matchup for B-Rad. Also, great play so far using that Mega Minion on defense.
Oh yeah, I'm really loving that usage. There goes the rocket in there once more, getting so much value. The Hog Rider is there as well. That tower is getting oh so low, but now needing to play defense. This is a convincing push coming in from Adrian.
Did not see much from the Hog Rider. Can B-Rad using that tornado, pulling the Giant off. Looks like he'll prevent most of the damage from this push, but the cannon cart on the left-hand side. Now we're forcing B-Rad to play defense on both halves of the board. This could change everything.
What a heads-up play there from Adrian, forcing the response there. That cannon cart was absolutely chunking it down, but there we go! That is going to be it in an instant. B-Rad takes the win.
B-Rad making some great plays, that cannon cart hog combo. He saw the opening, kept on getting that hog in cycle, and did the damage working that right-hand tower. Here is where we see this major shift. The cannon cart played on the defensive side, working down, and you're focused there thinking, what do we deal with it? The Electro Whiz trying to stop it, and just sneaking the log and the hog right by it, taking the win. Fantastic play from B-Rad. What an amazing moment.
Here we are complimenting that cannon card play. Oh, the left-hand side getting the split push in, but then he didn't have that crucial card when he needed to play defense on the right-hand side, trying to get a little fancy, and it cost him.
It's a high-risk, high-reward move. He might have gotten more value out of it, but B-Rad saw the opening, took it, and that's what Clash Royale is all about, seeing those moments where you can sneak in and punish your player for taking risks. B-Rad, known as a minor player, today he goes hog and nails it. Hog, log, good night, game over.
Oh, yes, indeed. But that's only game number 1. We have more here. So let's get into our second game here. Can Adrian rally? Let's find out.
Game number 2 on its way. Can we seal this thing? Can we send it into the overtime, that final matchup, the King of the Hill? Or will Complexity stay in here, get the win, get a second, and put Tribe down?
And here we go, game number 2, Complexity. Can they rally? Can Adrian keep calm under the pressure? I think he can, given this guy's extensive history. And of course, he's sitting back, he's relaxed. He does have a doctor's note for that chair, though.
So will we see the Sparky, one of the cards Adrian Piedra is known for in this matchup? And again, starting with the Mega Minion is B-Rad.
Oh yes, but instantly the Royal Hogs are coming out here. That Valkyrie being banned, not gonna be able to respond to that in the most optimal way, but still a nice defense there from B-Rad. But wow, that initial pressure is incredible.
800 off the right-hand tower for Adrian Piedra. Great work early on, and a fantastic counter on the left-hand side, using that Mega Knight, shutting down the push from B-Rad.
Oh yes, the Mega Knight falling from the sky and raining destruction on that push. The Night Wish is here as well, but we actually do get a lock there, that initial hit on the left-hand side. That Night Wish, was that a slight misplay? I don't think that was exactly in position.
Huge work here from Adrian Piedra. The Mega Knight putting big damage on the left-hand tower. On both sides in trouble, but here's B-Rad getting it back, evening up the right tower to the left tower.
And we are starting to see the split here with these Hogs. The cannon cart is in the middle, but getting pressure on both sides. Adrian Piedra looking so much more comfortable here in the second game. I have to say, B-Rad definitely on the back foot.
Interesting play here with the split Hogs, very smart. Most people just put the Royal Hogs down one lane, but here Adrian Piedra forcing B-Rad to make a choice, and it pays off. Both guys now setting back, building up Elixir, seeing what their next push is going to be.
Yes, indeed, but utilizing that lead there, Adrian Piedra realizing that he's up a little bit in Elixir here. He's going to be keeping on the pressure. The miner going in here as well. Goblins on the left-hand side, not going to get a whole lot of value here. Actually getting a few hits. I spoke too soon, so really nicely done. Adrian, he's getting value on defense, he's getting value on offense. This looks like a whole new player.
But look at the left-hand tower. Adrian Piedra now putting more damage, getting the left-hand tower to under 600. B-Rad on the back foot. But can he counter? A little leakage from Adrian Piedra, could that factor into this matchup?
And now that we hit double Elixir time, we are starting to see the deck from B-Rad come online. The Lava Hound is in, it's finding this tower. The bats are there as well. Look at how much damage is going. Those bats doing a beautiful job blocking for it here. The Electro, oh man, the Electro Strike not able to get the value. Look at how much damage that tower is taking.
And now B-Rad making a hardcore push on the right-hand side. 20 hit points left. That is it. Now we still have the counter. The Royal Hog split. Getting through on the left-hand side, a couple of hits, and on the right as well. That right-hand tower now down to 20, and there we go. We are heading into sudden death overtime. A slight lead by Adrian, but great play from B-Rad. But he has to watch out that Inferno Dragon, getting the lock on the King Tower, now making him defend on two different fronts.
Oh, yes, indeed. In an instant, both players turning it on, and look at the push now on the left-hand side. That Inferno Dragon getting so much value. The Zap is already actually being burned there, but look at the Hogs going in. That is going to be it. Adrian Piedra taking game number 2.
What an amazing adjustment from Adrian Piedra. A little gamesmanship here, banning the Valkyrie, but not playing any Valkyrie-dependent card in the first match. Instead, bringing those Royal Hogs in the second game and kind of surprising, catching B-Rad off guard.
Watch this. We finally see the big push come in here from B-Rad. We think that could be it. We think that could be game over. The tower is getting so low, but all the while, Adrian Piedra stays cool. He counters back. He gets a tower of his own, and at this point, he's built up enough of an Elixir lead. He makes it look easy.
Well, that's where those split Hogs were so valuable, pressuring both lanes. Yeah, he gave up that right-hand tower, but he knew he had both sides of B-Rad in danger, and he could get one of them and still get the other, because B-Rad not getting much damage, really any damage on that left-hand tower. Let's look at those stats here. Elixir spent from complexity 89, 88 for Tribe Gaming. Really, really close. But again, that win for Adrian Piedra, just getting more stuff on the board, a little faster rotation, and that's a difference here in the second game of set number 2. Who will take the final victory? Will it be B-Rad? Will it be Adrian Piedra closing this thing down? The final swing match is up right now. And the swing match is starting. Everything on the line for both teams. Oh, wow, from Adrian Piedra. That's what we're saying, too. This has been crazy so far. What a way to start off CRL.
Keep in mind, if Adrian Piedra takes this, that will be a 2-0 win for Complexity. The dreams of Tribe will be crushed here in their first ever CRL set. But don't worry, of course, it's only our first day of the season. But I think B-Rad, he's probably got a few tricks up his sleeve to bring this to set number 3.
Such a dangerous player, really versatile. One of the best win rates in the entire game, by the way, at 70%. Now, to put that in context, B-Rad does not really play ladder, but even then, you're winning 70% of your challenge matches. That is hardcore. That is some next level stuff.
Oh yeah, this guy is an absolute beast. Look, he's relaxing, taking a break, you know, playing it easy. Both of these players looking to look more towards the double Elixir time. Both just letting this build up right now, feeling at themselves out. I may have spoke too soon. Hello, Royal Hogs.
A Royal Hog push getting in. Again, those Royal Hogs can do so much damage so quickly, but a tower activation from B-Rad, that could really change the tenor of this match.
Oh yeah, pulling in the King Tower all ready to start this game. That's going to be pivotal in the defense here for B-Rad. I like this play, but already a lot of damage is being done. The Royal Ghost here as well, the Ice Wiz on the left-hand side. These minions going to get a little bit of value here, but overall, both teams just trading out, looking to get this Elixir built up.
And here we go, looking like splash yard for B-Rad. We saw a lot of splash damage already. The poison down. Can he get some big damage on that left-hand tower and even this thing up?
Oh yeah, Graveyard Poison. What a devastating combo when used correctly. But now actually a pretty nice hold here coming in from Adrian Piedra. Now he's got quite a push built up in his own right. We have the Mega Knight there, the Inferno Dragon in the back. This is going to be tough to deal with.
Is that Tornado in cycle? Can he pull those cards away? And a nice Electro is the #1 counter, in my opinion, for the Inferno Dragon.
But a great Fireball coming out as well to deny that, shut that down instantly. But the counterplay there coming in from B-Rad, using a little bit more Elixir than he wanted to on that defense.
Pretty much even in double Elixir time, about 100 hit point lead so far for B-Rad. Both guys right across the board, really neck and neck.
Oh yeah, but here come the minions, here come the Royal Hogs pushing in here once again on both sides. This is something that Adrian Piedra did so well in game #2, but not getting quite the same value here this time around. The Bowler finding his place here, denying that push.
Still, but with how even that left-hand lane is on for both of them, getting a little bit of hit points on the right-hand side could be the difference as we go on. But a lot of value right now from that Graveyard Poison for B-Rad. As we move towards the end of this matchup, he's really put Adrian Piedra on his back foot.
That was a beautiful push there, but now the Royal Hogs are jumping in behind the Bowler, who's going to fall as well. There's the Tornado that we were looking for, stymieing that push completely. And now we have a very good position here for B-Rad. Tribe Gaming, they want to take this to the ace match. This is their chance.
B-Rad making some great moves here, taking advantage of all the splash damage he has against those Royal Hogs, so huge. And now really taking that left-hand tower, under 500 hit points, now under 400. This is so close, so dangerous for Adrian Piedra.
2 more poisons. This is so close here, cycling down that left-hand tower. But look at the push on the right-hand side as well. This is pretty devastating. The Royal Hogs are here, the Fireball as well, trying to shut this down. Adrian Piedra, the split pressure he is mounting is absolutely massive, but surviving through this B-Rad, he's focused on this left-hand side.
What can he do to stop this final Graveyard push? Could this be the end? Could this put it away? Now under 200. Very, very close. Just a couple more hits away. This could be it. The poison is down.
B-Rad just needs to defend for a few more seconds here as the poison comes in. There's the Tornado, and I believe that is going to be it. B-Rad taking us to set #3. What amazing play from him. Tribe is in this series.
What a great play using that Splash Yard deck. One of the more popular decks in the meta, something many of you at home have probably played as well. Adrian Piedra, now interesting punishment here, just like in the first match where he put the cannon cart on the opposite lane and B-Rad punished him. Same thing happened here. And now we see some of that great splash play from B-Rad, really taking advantage of some of those mistakes. But again, we looked at the move from Adrian Piedra, trying to put pressure on the other lane and make B-Rad make choices. But again, using that advantage, knowing that tower wasn't going to go down, he punished on the left-hand side and got the victory, sending us to our King of the Hill overtime.
Oh yes, our King of the Hill. Let's talk about this a little bit more. So both teams will field 3 players. Each one of those players gets 1 life. If you win, you stay. The loser goes home. 3 wins, you're in. 3 strikes, you're out.
This is such a fun format, and this is really where a lot of gamesmanship comes into play. Do you put your best player up front as the top to try to wipe out their entire team, or do you save that person as an anchor to get it back if your first 2 players come down? We've seen people do it in many different ways when they were practicing. I think this is going to be really key, kind of thinking about how those matchups might play out.
See, I'm personally a fan. I know we kind of differ on this, but I'm personally a fan of starting off strong, setting a statement in game #1. But as you've mentioned in sort of our discussions, if you lose that match, that could be pretty detrimental to morale.
Yeah, you could start getting on tilt here, and that's what it's all about. Not only are you thinking about the player matchups, but the card matchups. There are so many variables in King of the Hill. One player could wipe out all 3 of your opponents, or we could go back and forth. You don't actually know what the matchups are, and that's what's kind of crazy here. It can happen in so many different ways. You have so many potential matchups that can change the complexity of this game, not to use one of our team names in context.
There's definitely going to be some complexity involved, and this is really going to come down to the research. Which team has done their homework, researching all of their opponents, knowing that no matter how these matchups line up, they're going to be in a favorable position.
Let's go into the blue war room to hear what Tribe Gaming is saying about this matchup.
There we go, baby. Nice job. All right, guys. Great momentum. But yeah, let's stay focused on Ox's match right now.
Yeah. Ox, what do you think on play?
I'm waiting to see the ban. I would like to play Splash Yard, but if they don't ban Cannon Cart, I'm not sure.
I think if we ban Piggy's Splash Yard is a good choice because they won't think we will counter it.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, without
Let's wait and see what the bans.
Yeah, if they don't ban Cannon correctly, play how
even if they run poison, you can run it with the spot.
Just watch Shard run well against beat down like
Yes.
Yeah. Guys, we got our 2 bans. We got Tornado. We have Tornado. We have Royal Hogs, right?
yeah.
This is what we expected. This is the situation we wanted to be in this set. So let's close it out. Okay.
Yep. I agree. Just do it.
100%.
Colton, you're up first, man.
Yep.
You got it, Colton. Almost. Let's go, boys.
Adrian.
Adrian,
cleaning
just
up,
touch it
man.
up.
We're relying on you, dude. You got this. You got this, buddy.
Okay.
Let's go, fellas.
Yeah, let's go.
It is time to lock in the lineups and get down to business. Now, King of the Hill will settle this epic battle once and for all. Or at least for today. Complexity and Tribe, send your first combatants into the arena!
And here we go, the opening now for this King of the Hill matchup. And it is a battle of titans filled with bad blood. Colton versus Oxalate.
I mean, I feel like it's not really that much bad blood. I mean, these guys have competed over the years, but you know, at the end of the day, we're going to find out who really is the little brother.
Both teams going with their ace to lead out the match, kind of like you thought. So, up for Tribe Gaming, it's Oxalate, then B-Rad, then Jmonte. Colton leading off for Complexity, followed by Razzer, and Adrian Piedra playing that anchor role.
Oh, yes, indeed. Starting off with 2 of the strongest individual players here. Colton W83, of course, known for his analytical mindset, creating awesome content on YouTube, but across the board as well. Oxalate, he's got a ton of wins under his belt. This guy is stone cold when it matters. Both of these players are going to look to go in because, of course, Colton's already got 1 win today in that 2v2.
We have a new set of ban cards for this final match. Tribe choosing to ban the Royal Hogs, not giving Complexity more chances with that. And on the other side, Complexity getting rid of that Tornado, eliminating a lot of options that Tribe Gaming really enjoys.
Oh, yes, indeed. But enough talk. Let's get into the game right now. The finals, the King of the Hill, is about to begin.
Here we go, King of the Hill off and running. Colton versus Oxalate.
Both of these players have a lot to prove here. There's a lot on the line in terms of bragging rights. And of course, the first win here and the first day of the Clash Royale League. The Miner is making his appearance here. The Skeleton's being dropped as well as the Valkyrie. Cleaning that up with ease here.
A lot of possibilities now. Oxalate could be running Miner Poison, but it might look like Miner Balloon as well, especially with that zap in hand.
Oh, look at the pressure coming in on both sides. With the Hog Rider on the left, the Bandit's going to look to clean that up. The Hunter and the Valkyrie on the right. The Electro Wizard doing a great job of shutting that down, but a lot of initial pressure coming in here from Colton.
Hog Rider from Colton, and now will the Bandit get a charge? Not going to do it, going to get distracted by that Ice Golem. Nice play by Colton.
That was exactly where he needed to place that, not allowing the charge to get underway here. Slowly just working ahead, a little bit of a lead here in Elixir. Oxalate looking to keep that pressure up there on the right-hand side. Skeleton's going to clean that up pretty well, and then add the Valk on top.
Both players going with very fast decks so far. No big, heavy-hitting cards, except you could think of that Hog Rider, kind of like that. But again, we're not seeing any big-time tanky so far in this matchup. But there in the back, now we see the 3M. It's almost like a souped-up version of that trifecta deck with the Hog, the Valkyrie, and not 1, but 3 Musketeers.
Oh, yes, indeed. So watch how Colton plays around this very high Elixir cost troop. The Mega Knight is there to shut down this push here on the right. The Poison as well got so much value. What a sick trade there from Oxalate.
Oxalate doing a great job handling that 3M, focusing on the 2, getting them out of the picture, and then worrying about the 1.
But a great job there with that Ice Golem placement, kiting off that Mega Knight, taking him on a merry chase.
That's why that Ice Golem is so valuable. And now on the right-hand side, again, we cannot get a lock from the Bandit, making easy work with those Skeletons and the tower support.
That was the saddest Mega Knight of all time. He really just wanted to go hit a tower, but instead he's walking all over the field here. And we do have the Miner going in here as well. Once again on the right-hand side. Nicely done. The 3M was placed in the back, and this Poison every single time is going to get value.
You're going to see him holding onto that. Great work on those left-hand Musketeers. And almost got some good work out of the Electro Wiz. and now potentially a push coming down the right-hand side from Colton. Will he support the Musketeer, or just let it fight off against the Inferno Wiz?
Bit of leak there going on though from Colton as well, holding onto these cards, waiting for the push to come across the board here, but we'll see if that comes back to bite him here as we see Oxalate just constantly pushing in there. There's an aggressive 3M placement though.
Right up front, and we do again see the poison, but now backed up, we have an elixir opening, and that Hog Rider gonna come in and get at least one hit on the tower. Will he get a second? No, he does not.
Nice defense there from Oxalate to shut that down, keeping this miner on rotation, keeping that pressure up. This back right-hand tower has not had a single moment's rest.
A fairly even matchup, Colton, with what some might say a slight lead as we go into sudden death overtime, but he has to protect that right-hand tower nearly down to 1,000 hit points.
Yes, we really have to watch for this miner poison combo. He's using it beautifully here to just shut down these Musketeers, but when the moment comes, when Oxalate thinks he can end, watch for this coming together, the Mega Knight shutting down the push there from the Hog Rider, only getting one hit there as well, and nice placement of that Valkyrie to distract the Bandit.
Backing the Mega Knight up with the Electro Wiz. Really great positioning on the Electro Wiz. A lot of people would try to get that initial shock damage, but instead he puts it in the back as a support troop, and here it does some real good work. And now the right-hand tower of Colton all the way down to under 600 hit points.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. The second we start to see that combo being used together.
And there's the charge!
Oh no, the 3M plays too far back. Only 94 HP remaining there. That's usually the miners going there with the poison as well, and that is going to be it. GG. Oxalate from Tribe Gaming taking game number 1.
Wow, revenge on the part of Oxalate. What beautiful play. Again, we talk about seeing those openings, and here we go. We have not much elixir sitting there for Colton, and that Bandit did not get a lock all game, but when it mattered, he did the damage, putting it within death range, and that was GG.
Knowing the cycle to a T, the second those 3 Musketeers dropped in the back, we saw the Bandit come out every single time Colton played that, it had a response, and that really just goes to show that you can't keep doing the same things at this high level of play. The second those 3M was dropped, there was an answer.
1 player down for Complexity, 2 left in their board, and we are off to the races here at King of the Hill.
Razzer is up next. Let's see what he can do. He just watched Colton fall, and now Oxalate, you know this guy is going to build off this momentum. He's going to look to try and shut it down in 3 games. If he keeps playing like he did in that first one, I think it's possible.
Razzer, again, very talented, a regular appearance that he makes on the top 200 of the ladder. He is no slouch, but Oxalate now feeling really good, has momentum on his side, and that's what you talked about, putting the big hitter up first. Now Oxalate feeling loose, knowing what he can do, and he just proved it here. Can he run through the rest, or will Razzer get revenge and even this thing up?
All right, well, let's find out. Let's not wait any longer. Let's get into game number 2.
And we are off game number 2 of this King of the Hill matchup, Razzer versus Oxalate.
Razzer versus Oxalate. This is going to be absolutely insane. Just to remind you, of course, that Royal Hog and Tornado has both been banned, so we're not seeing any of those cards here. Taking the Royal Hogs off the board, when those cards are played in the right situation, they are such a threat.
Yeah, no Royal Hogs available for either team. Of course, no Tornado either, so it could have a big effect on some of our strategy choices. And great, a lot of our players, their favorite card is the Princess, and that's a high skill cap card that the best players use to fantastic value.
Oh, that Ice Golem to deny the charge. That was absolutely huge. That was a sick play, and the Princess lives. Oh me, oh my, Oxalate in an instant getting the perfect placement there. And now we see the Hog pushing as well, and that Princess still has to be dealt with. That is the high level play we expect at the CRL.
So much value out of the Princess, and a log there really chipping down that Electro Wizard. Wow, still not addressing the Princess on the left-hand side. That card, seriously, getting 3, 4, 5 times the value of its cost.
That was absolutely insane. That Ice Golem, that small individual play put Oxalate in such a massive lead here to start this game. Absolutely incredible. If you're looking at how to improve your game on the ladder, well, it's plays like that.
Not much damage so far done by Razzer. As we reach the halfway point, Oxalate out to a lead. And still, again, he's going to keep on getting that Princess on the board. When you do have Princess, a lot of players say, get it down as many times as possible. And so far, that's really paying off for Oxalate.
Oh, yes, indeed. Oh, once again, using the Ice Spirit to deny the charge. This is absolutely insane. But now the Ram is pushing here on the left, but a lot of elixir to defend that. We get the mini P.E.K.K.A going in, going to be swiping away and taking down that Ram.
But now we see some pretty strong value out of that flying machine for Razzer, really getting some work, but still, all the distractions from Oxalate, he's got the cards of Razzer Razzer just going all over the place, never quite getting what they want.
Oh yeah, this quick cycle of Oxalate is doing so much work for him here, able to just get the responses out when he needs them. But now, the P.E.K.K.A. is marching down the field. This will have to be dealt with. The split zappies as well. How does Oxalate defend this?
But we do see a Bandit on the right-hand side again, some distraction. And there the mini P.E.K.K.A. doing work as well. It was a good P.E.K.K.A. placement from Razzer early on, but because of that ice golem in front of the Hog got some damage, and the P.E.K.K.A. not able to do all the things it wanted.
But getting damage on both sides now with this push. Regardless, Razzer is finding his stride here. Double elixir time was really when he was able to turn it on. Look at how much damage he was able to do to both towers in unison.
And now Razzer ahead. Those zappies really deceptive. You don't think they do a lot of damage, but because they shock you and freeze you for a second, they can get so much work done.
Oh, that zappy P.E.K.K.A. play, that was insane. The Hog wasn't even able to get one hit here. And here comes the Bandit though. Oh, bringing it into the middle once again. The ability to just bait those cards into the middle of the map to deny their value. Oxalate is doing a fantastic job, but there's just so many bodies on the field right now as we get into overtime. Razzer is on the offense.
This is where a tornado would do so much work for Oxalate, but it's banned, cannot use it, and now the P.E.K.K.A. does not get a hit on that tower.
One swing, so very close to the charge of the Bandit on the right-hand side, that the pressure is coming in on both sides, and that is going to be it. Razzer takes the game rich. What an insane back-and-forth battle.
Wow, out to an early lead was Oxalate. Looked like he really had Razzer's number, but that's what competitive Clash Royale play is all about. It's all about making in-game adjustments. Here we see on both lanes, again, the work by Razzer, really putting Oxalate on his heel, and finally the Bandit connects with that tower on the right-hand side, puts it away, and that's good game.
We were so focused on that P.E.K.K.A. on the left-hand side, getting that one critical hit. We ignored the Bandit, and in the end, that's what did it there. Razzer taking that win. So now B-Rad is up on deck.
B-Rad so far really kind of a hero today. Can he continue along in the same vein? We have two players remaining for both. Now it's B-Rad versus Razzer with Jmonte and Adrian Piedra sitting in the wings, seeing if they're going to be the ones who have to step up and clinch this match for their team.
Dude, I understand the excitement. My heart is pounding too at the end of that game. I can't imagine what it's like for these players up there on this stage, knowing that only a few more games of Clash Royale is all that's left to determine the winner here with our very first CRL match.
Remember, B-Rad considers himself one of the best minor players in the world, and the minor cards that are important, not really banned here. So lots of opportunity for B-Rad to go to his bread and butter and try to win this thing in the now two-person matchup left for this King of the Hill.
Alrighty, let's get into this game. Razzer going up against B-Rad, the first team will take it here in our King of the Hill and declare themselves the victor here in our first North American matchup.
B-Rad starting with a giant behind the King Tower, and on the left-hand side, Razzer trying to punish that, but we see B-Rad's minor. Such a versatile card, can do so many things, and there he uses it beautifully on defense.
He's known for this minor play here as well, but of course, he doesn't really want to use it for defense ideally, but we've seen the power of the Bandit already so far today, so denying that charge, I think, is just fine.
That's the difference between a pro player and an amateur, is being willing to take that card that you might think has to put pressure on and use it to create defensive opportunities that might set you up. But now the P.E.K.K.A. with the E-Wiz behind it, pushing, and on the left-hand side, we see Razzer putting that ram, trying to get on the tower. Not going to work. We get those minions there doing their damage.
And we get one swipe from the P.E.K.K.A. No, a beautiful defense there from B-Rad. I feel like this is the hallmark of Razzer's play so far, his ability to get split pressure on the field and really just forcing crazy responses here. And we do see that again as the Giant is in there to tank up that damage, just shoving the Bandit right on back.
Really great defensive work by B-Rad so far. Make note of that positioning, just off, ahead enough to pick up those hits, but not so far ahead that you can't make a good push out of it. And that Giant getting very close to doing some damage on the left-hand tower.
Yeah, it's going to get one punch in, but I have to say I love the positioning on that E-Wiz there, putting him in such a position that the Miner was going to get attacked by both Princess Towers should they look to charge in there. And now with the Flying Machine, going to get a few hits off. This is actually pretty big there, utilizing that long range.
Just 20 seconds away from double elixir time. Razzer with a slight lead over B-Rad, getting the left-hand tower to under 1,800.
This is big now as we start to move in towards double elixir time here. I feel like we're going to see the last key components of these decks come online, and now we have the Ram here as well. The minions are going to be there to just clean that up, the zap, the hog, everything is there. But B-Rad just saying, hey, you know what, I'm not going to overcommit here on any one of these defenses because I also want to focus on my push.
Playing very inexpensive defense, and again, using that beautiful miner play right in that spot to distract the charge from the bandit.
I also love the positioning of this P.E.K.K.A. though. Every single time we see the Giant marching down the lane, this has to be the response. Razzer knows exactly how he needs to play his deck.
Still one card in the hole remaining for both players. Who is going to surprise us here as we are 30 seconds away from sudden death overtime?
And both of these players just getting that crucial chip damage in here. Neither one is overcommitting here to one push. A bit of leak though coming in from B-Rad. Not quite sure where he wanted to play out that Giant. Going to be denying that flying machine. You see the damage there as well as the bandit is getting pulled into the mid. Every single time these zappies are being used, they're getting crazy value.
And again, that's pro level play with the zappies. I've said it before, I'll say it again. They are an unassuming card that does a lot more. That great P.E.K.K.A. placement on the right-hand side for Razzer does short work of the Giant, and now a huge push coming down the right-hand lane.
Oh my, this is massive. The miner is there to pull them back. The minions up top. Great job, the zap. And what a beautiful defense from B-Rad. There was so much elixir on the field just being absolutely denied.
There we go, the miner master doing great work. But again, the left-hand side, and now we actually get a hit from the Ram. Shocking play from Razzer on the left-hand side.
Shocking play indeed. That was exactly what Razzer needed there, getting that through the defense of B-Rad, finding that opening, the chink in the armor, and making full advantage.
Razzer playing so clean and tight right now. The Electro is trying to work the way out, clear the path for that P.E.K.K.A. Can he get a hit on the tower? It's going to be close, not going to make it. That Night Witch play perfect.
And that timing on that log as well, but now we have the bandit once again on the right. Great job pulling it into the mid. The ability to just deny the aggro and take down the threat. That's really the hallmark of both of these players, these sets, both of these teams actually, but still, like I said, the zappies didn't work.
Really tough situation here for B-Rad. That left-hand tower down so low. One small mistake can change everything. A nice fireball from Razzer, again, keeping that damage off the left-hand tower.
Yeah, once you get those Night Witches going in lane, just creating those bats going through, you have to deal with that. You have to shut that down. We're getting deep into overtime right now. What an even matchup. Both of these towers, though, for B-Rad are so low. If Razzer can find one push here, that could be it.
Razzer really not worried about that right-hand tower because he knows the position he's put B-Rad in. He can just defend on that left-hand side. And really, he also knows there's nothing quick that can come down and take that tower.
Well, as you say that, the Ram is there pushing in on the right, not quite finding the connection. Great job with the minion horde. The P.E.K.K.A. is being pulled back once again. The miner play is absolutely impeccable, but can't they get in there?
And that is it! The P.E.K.K.A. finally makes its way through. And there we go. We had Razzer sitting back, playing defense, looking for those opportunities to counter. He knew he had no concern about his right-hand tower, able to just make B-Rad make the plays and get his way to the left-hand side and put away one more player. And now, let's take a look at that replay.
Oh man, so many fantastic moments from that game, but this defense was part of it. How the miner was utilized there from B-Rad every single time the P.E.K.K.A. was about to move forward, every time the bandit was about to land that hit, they made it work.
Look, B-Rad might have lost this matchup, but if you're looking at how to play defense and really how to use that miner, this was a lesson. The miner doing so much work, but in the end, the story belonged to Razzer.
Oh yeah.
Once he put his opponent in a tough position, he just made him keep defending, and instead of letting B-Rad get back in the game, Razzer carried the momentum, and he decided how it was going to be played.
He carried momentum, and he carried battering rams, constantly putting those down to keep up the split pressure. That was huge there. Forcing the responses at every single turn, constantly being the aggressor in this situation. And that's the kind of play we love to see. Being the one to set the pace, set the tone is massive in this kind of matchup.
Tribe down to its last player, Jmonte, one of the more confident guys on the team, a real character and a real dangerous player. Can he keep Tribe in it? Or will Razzer close this thing out for complexity? The potentially final match of King of the Hill is on its way.
Let's get into the match right now. It's all on the line now for Tribe Complexity. just needs one more win. Razzer has been absolutely on fire.
Potentially Razzer going with the same deck, getting that getting that Ram down on the board, and now we see the little used Hunter, but a really fantastic card that gets tons of value when played appropriately.
Oh yeah, you put that guy on defense, allow him to sit back and do some damage, but when you also support him with a frontline tank like the Valkyrie in this situation, you get quite a bit of value, but there's the P.E.K.K.A. on that right-hand side to deal with the push. Though I have to say, that Hog got quite a few hits in.
Are we potentially seeing Jmonte play that 3M super trifecta deck again? It's a real possibility. The deck looks very similar to what we saw earlier today.
Yeah, I love this. Oh man, that positioning on the Ice Golem as well, just bringing the P.E.K.K.A. around, taking the long way home, but going to be cleaning that up in short order. Look at that ability to just swap the lanes here, but either way, the defense has to be had. At some point, you have to deal with that card.
Real nasty play there. Look at how deep let the P.E.K.K.A. get. It's going back and forth, and still, the P.E.K.K.A. really getting nothing done, going all over the place, chasing every single card on the board.
Oh man, Jmonte, what amazing defense here as well. But eventually, these Barbarians are going to start to whittle away, chip down, especially with the Bandit here as well. The Valkyrie's going to be there to take that damage, but so much effort was put into kiting that P.E.K.K.A. that they didn't quite deal with those Barbarians.
As we get to the halfway point of regulation time, Jmonte's right-hand tower down under 1,000, but we still might see that big move, that 3M potentially in the pocket, and that could be a game changer if it makes an appearance.
Watch for double elixir time to really pull out the rest of these decks here. The Zappies, though, not really going to be dealt with. Just let them do it on their own devices, just using the log, building up this elixir. The P.E.K.K.A.'s coming in here as well in the back. The P.E.K.K.A. is so much of a threat, but I think Jmonte has shown exactly how to deal with that. There's actually a 3M down here for Jmonte.
There we go. That's what it looked like. We saw that this super version of trifecta, Hog, Valkyrie, and then the and then the Musketeers, 3 Musketeers, really bumping up the damage. And there we go on the left-hand side. At least 3 hits from the Hog and a little bit of work. And I think we might have gotten 1 hit from one of those.
But on the right-hand side, the Ram, Rich. The Ram is going through, getting that tower. But we're so focused on the left-hand side. Razzer's saying, look, I got to push 2 here. And the 3M is being dropped in the mid, trying to shut this down. The Bandit is there. But oh me, oh my, Razzer's in a great position.
30 seconds left in this matchup. Can Jmonte get this thing back and get enough damage on one of those 2 towers? We've seen Razzer do it again. You look one way, he goes the other. He puts pressure on you, gets you on your back foot, and he's really capitalizing right now.
Oh yes, indeed. Jmonte needs to get the damage in here. The Bandit, he's trying to force the Hog down the lane, but the Zappies are there. Going to be shutting down the push. 5 seconds remaining. This looks like it could be it. And it looks like that is going to be all she wrote. Razzer taking the game, the set, the match, and that is going to be the win for Complexity.
You know, Complexity had these 2 big-time players, Colton and Adrian Piedra, but it's Razzer, the little-known guy who comes through as the hero and puts this thing away for his team. And there you have it, the first ever match of CRL, Complexity taking out Tribe Gaming.
These guys are fired up. I love to see it. So much passion from these young players. They are feeling amazing. Razzer, the hero his team needed, the one they deserved.
Razzer went back again to that same deck. We saw it work so well in his first matchup against B-Rad, and he says, you know what, that worked one time, let's do it again. And he pretty much played the exact same game plan. Get one of those towers down, force him to defend, and then punish.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We tried to see the response there from Jmonte, but Tribe Gaming, I have to give them all the props in the world. Let's watch this replay back. They had such a great day of games, but in the end, being able to force that Ram through. That Ram, I think, was really one of the pivotal cards here for the play of Razzer. He used that in such an amazing, creative way. And of course, that's all they needed to secure themselves the win.
Beautiful work from Complexity. One of those teams that you really think's going to go far in this matchup. They get the win, and that's it for the first ever matchup of Clash Royale League. The first match is in the books, but the action is not over. Coming up next, a battle of the Titans, NRG versus Immortals.
That was an epic battle. Truly an amazing win over an honorable opponent, as young Razzer took the game for Complexity. Well then, next up, it's NRG versus Immortals. Let us sharpen our swords and fortify our defenses as we prepare for the next featured match. Immortals, led by the always entertaining Crap, and NRG with combined breakout star Hazard. Let's get it on!
It's time for our second matchup, a battle of two esports titans, NRG versus Immortals.
Oh, yes, indeed. I am so ready. Both of these teams have been putting in the work. Let's take a look at these rosters because we have two powerhouse organizations with a lot of great existing talent and a lot of young guns. When it comes to Immortals, oh crap, this guy is a star. But I'm also looking for Royale. I think he could be the sleeper here. He grinds on ladder relentlessly. This guy is a champ.
The God RF, of course, really impresses as of late, and that's why he's here today. Aw crap, a common person up at the top of the ladder.
Oh yeah, and now looking across the board at NRG, Hazard, you have to talk about this guy. He constantly impresses. And Carter as well, another standout performance at the Combine. I'm really looking for these young players to show us what they've got.
Let's go to our teammate, Christy St. John, who's sitting by with Hazard.
Hey, what's up? So, Hazard, you're new to the Team House format, yeah?
Yes, this is my first time.
Tell me what that's like.
It's a lot of fun. Normally, I'm living with my parents at home. This is kind of my first time being away from them for like more than maybe, 2 weeks that I spent with my grandparents.
Wow.
So it's a really new experience for me, but it's a lot of fun. Practices are obviously a lot more efficient and stuff like that. And just living with a bunch of my best friends in the world is a lot of fun.
Absolutely, and obviously we have this huge stage. How do you feel about it?
I mean, I'm super excited. The stage looks great so far. I'm excited to see how it turns out with editing and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm really excited.
Great, and I saw you do something really intimidating in the tunnel. Was that was that patty cake?
Yeah, it was actually. I was talking to All Crap last night. I called him up. I was like, yo, we have to do something in the tunnel because obviously I've known this guy for I think over 2 years now. He's like, oh, let's do patty cake. So I learned it this morning. It was a little iffy, but I think it still turned out well.
Wait, can you teach me?
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
So you put your hands together. It's kind of hard with the mic.
Yeah,
and then you go out, and then I think a high five, and then clap, and then high five, and then it's like something, I don't even know. It's weird.
I nailed it. First try.
It's weird. First try.
No, that was amazing. So you are competing against Aw Crap. Do you have any fighting words for him?
I mean, it's really kind of fun in games between us. Obviously, there's going to be a bit of a competitive rivalry between us as we've known each other for so long. But it's just nice to be out here with them, see him kind of on a daily basis when I used to just talk to him online. So it's more fun than anything. But obviously, this is a big competition. It does mean a lot to both of us. So, we're going to be giving it all we got. But yeah.
Absolutely. Super chill, hanging out with your friends, playing Clash, and hopefully beating them.
Hopefully beating them. I mean, we've always been pretty competitive. Even if there's nothing on the line, it still sucks to lose. So, yeah.
Don't I know it sucks to lose. All right, back to you guys.
We are just minutes away from this match. Let's take a moment, Paul. Remind us of how this is going to play out.
Oh, yes, indeed. Let's break down this tournament format. Our match format here, of course, we start off with our 2v2, our new addition to the competitive Clash landscape. After that, we'll go on to our 1v1, the bread and butter. And then, if we need it in our ace match, we will proceed on to King of the Hill.
You just saw how exciting King of the Hill can be. Will we see it again? For now, we're going to go inside the war room to see what these teams are thinking.
We'll run that first.
Remember this. First?
We're going to run that first.
You sure you don't want to run it the other deck because you're more confident with it?
What do you want?
I'm fine with either.
Yeah, I'm fine with either as well.
You should probably run the first
But be on the same page right now about what you're going to do.
You should, yeah. Get
so do you guys know what you're running first game?
Yes.
Do you guys know what you're running second game?
Yes.
Let's go, baby.
All right, so for 2v2, they obviously banned Poison, we banned Rocket. What do you think they're going to run? Do you know?
I mean, I would guess like maybe a Graveyard Freeze or something like that. Probably might have used cards like Night Witch, Witch, potentially even something like Clone could come out. But I think our deck can line up pretty well against that, having Tornado, Dark Goblin, Night Witches can be good against the Graveyard Freeze.
Yeah. Do you think they might run Royal Hogs? I mean, I know we were planning on it, but what are you thinking?
I mean, it's possible, but I think even if they do, we have pretty good counters for it with Fireballs and, Tombstone, Tornadoes, all sorts of stuff. And I think we can make some pretty big pushes that they'll have a hard time stopping.
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking forward to winning, honestly. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a good match. Yeah. All right, you ready?
Pretty much. Let's get it.
Let's go,
Let's go, baby.
Let's go, boys.
We've just sat with the teams in the war rooms. Let's go to the tunnel to see who they've picked for this 2v2 matchup.
Well, Immortals and NRG have talked the talk. But now, let's see if they can walk the walk. It's time for battle. Send your 2v2 combatants to meet their destiny in the arena.
The lights are up and the matchup is revealed. Big time work from both teams. On the side of the Immortals, Aw Crap and the God RF.
Oh, yes, indeed. Two consummate control players. I'm really excited to see how these two work together. The young guns, and of course, on the other side, Hazard and Carter. So much aggression from this squad.
Now, Paul, this is a really aggressive, fast team. What are the benefits and drawbacks of playing that kind of style?
Well, you get to control the tempo when you play aggressive. You get to dictate the course of the match. However, there are some downsides. Sometimes players tend to overcommit to pushes. They commit too much elixir, too many troops, and that's when a counterattack can come in.
And against a big control team like Immortals, that could be a problem. Hazard, one of the best players in the game, but known to overcommit every once in a while. Could Immortals, could the God RF and Aw Crap take advantage of that?
I think they could. I know these guys have been practicing hard. If there's any time for them to come out guns blazing, it's gotta be now. If anyone makes a mistake at this level of play, it could be disastrous.
2v2, here we go. Immortals versus NRG. This is CRL.
All right, as we're getting into this first matchup here in the 2v2, already we're seeing a golem being dropped right off the bat there for Immortals. This is one way to start the match.
Golem in the back, that could be a really dangerous card. Again, you can put so much stuff behind it. And in 2v2, there are so many options of how to support that push.
Oh, yes, indeed. And we're seeing that cannon cart coming out now as well. But this Tombstone going to be generating quite a bit of support here. But there's actually some rage as well coming down from the Lumberjack. Going to be getting okay value with lots of those little minions in the field.
Golem is a really big call here because the ban cards today are Poison and Rocket. So that Rocket now not being able to use to stop that Golem from pushing forward.
Yeah, Poison and Rocket, of course, being banned here. I think those are great choices. Both get so much value in this 2v2 format. We see Poison time and time again get so much damage on all of these clumped up units. And now looking at the push coming in the left-hand side, Poison would have been nice right about now.
Poison would have been nice, of course, Rocket to stop this kind of stuff. Look at all the elixir on the board right now on the left-hand side coming down the lane from NRG.
Oh yeah, NRG mounting up an absolutely monstrous push here, just really trying to stymie any attempt at defense here. However, the Tornado is going to be doing a little bit of work, but it's too little too late.
We see the Tornado get a little bit of value there, but without the Rocket to back it up, not as much. The freeze here used defensively. Used offensively, sorry.
Yes, used offensively with that graveyard. Oh my, getting so much value here, and that is going to be the tower already taken. We talk about the aggression of NRG, and they are demonstrating it beautifully right now.
The aggression really paying off so far. The control style of play not working for Immortals. As we enter double elixir time, they are down one tower, and have done almost no damage to the other side.
Both of these teams are running that quintessential beat-down style, where you have a big tanky unit up front and your other minions following in behind. Your other troops are there to support them, but we're just seeing NRG do it a little bit better, adding in some unique facets. But that being said, Immortals is firing back. They've got a graveyard of their own.
But keep an eye out, that big skeleton, the giant skeleton right there with the huge damage to be done defensively this case, stopping the push from Immortals from going all the way through.
Yeah, nice defense there from NRG. Barely any damage being taken there on that tower. That was the defense that Immortals was trying to do.
We're here in the last few seconds. It looks like NRG is going to wrap this thing up in the very first game of this first set of the match.
I don't think there's anything that Immortals can do. The freeze is there for good measure. Let's go indeed. That's going to be NRG with game number 1.
Really brilliant play from NRG. They did a great job, especially on that left-hand side, getting the big push down, and just as Immortals thought they had the defense, the graveyard freeze comes in and just wrecks that tower. Here, we'll see that replay. They're just focused on that, and here comes the graveyard, and now chip, 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 bang, 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 left tower nearly down.
That freeze was pixel perfect. That caught every key unit, the tower, everything just shut down. Say goodnight. That was absolutely massive. That is the kind of play that we look for here. And Immortals, I just don't think they saw that coming.
Well, you don't usually see that kind of combination. Poison Graveyard or Freeze Graveyard. You know, there's so many cards. There's 16 cards in a deck, essentially. So combinations like this, where Golem making the way through and you can Graveyard and then put the Freeze on top of it, you can do things you've never seen before with so many options.
There's a reason Freeze was banned in our early 2v2 matchup in the day, and this is why. These teams showing us the power of that card.
So Freeze still in play. Remember those banned cards, the Poison and the Rocket. We're gearing up for game number 2 of this first set. Can NRG put this thing away, or will Immortals tie it up and send us to a third game? And game number 2 is underway. NRG is currently leading 1-0 in this first set. Immortals looking to tie things up.
They need to pull it out here in this second game. Going down 0-1 in the first set is never ideal. No team wants to be playing from behind.
We have the Tombstone down, probably for Cycle. They could pull that Golem to the side and give some more defensive opportunities.
Yeah, but having the giant skeleton now for both teams, that big bomb, when it drops, does so much damage. We're having a battle on the bridge here, both Mega Minions as well as the Flying Machine. But these bats, oh no, instantly denied by that zap.
Giant skeleton making the way for the Golem. Now, even if that Golem gets hit by the next skeleton bomb, still might get some damage on that right-hand tower.
Beautiful play there, using that tornado to pull all the troops in on top of that bomb. This is exactly the kind of play I expect here, and a Royal Giant is being dropped here as well. Immortals also pulling out some unique compositions.
The Royal Giant can be so frustrating because it goes right for that tower, and from distance just past the river can now get about 400 damage done for Immortals.
That's pretty big, but a nice defense coming in from NRG, but now the offense once more being mounted from Immortals. They're deciding, yeah, we're traditionally known for more of conservative play, but this time we need to be the aggressors.
A little slowdown in the action here. Both teams analytically taking a look at the opponent, trying to decide their next move. The E-Wiz down, and now an Inferno Dragon in the back before there's any big push coming from NRG.
That's a little bit interesting. Normally you see that, you know, Inferno Dragon as a response to a big card coming out like the Golem, like that Giant Skeleton, but in this situation it's actually just going to be rolling on in right now, so I don't actually expect that Dragon to get a whole lot of value.
You know, it may have just been a card cycle choice. It's only 4 Elixir. You can get the next card in
pretty darn quickly here, but a great card to actually deal with that is going to be that Dark Elven. So we'll see how that plays out here to rip apart those big units, and now we see the push from NRG coming out, and once again, we're seeing the Graveyard.
The Graveyard, and again the Freeze also on the King Tower, taking care of that Flying Machine in the back. The Graveyard not getting much work done though, because we have the splash damage of that Dark Knight.
Yes, indeed. That the Prince is getting quite a lot of value there. Looking to maybe push forward as well. This Royal Giant, can they get that combo off once again? Standing strong, the Lizard, oh, and the River, I should say, and so much damage being done to this back right tower for NRG.
Looks like we're going to get 4, maybe 5 shots from the Royal Giant. Will there be a 6th? 6th shots. The right-hand tower for NRG with only 20 seconds left, now down to 317 hit points.
That is not a lot of HP to work with. When double elixir time kicked in, both of these teams went off. There is the Freeze as well, but the Dark Prince getting so much value. Like you said, we have that Tombstone getting so much value, pulling in the aggro from that Golem.
And that's gonna be it. Immortals tying this thing up with a wonderful little spell cycle at the end to put NRG down.
Oh, that was absolutely beautiful, saving that fireball right to the end, executing that tower, just a pure nuke on that back tower, just able to secure themselves the win here. But really, this push, this was the key factor.
There was no answer for the Royal Giant, and that's why this card can be so frustrating. Once it locks on, it's gonna get a couple hits in. This time it got 5, maybe 6 hits, really chewed up that right-hand tower.
It's not really something a lot of teams are expecting, because it's not a card that you traditionally see in 1v1, and that just goes to show that there's so many more options available in 2v2. We are still at a point where we are defining the meta.
Really interesting here, NRG, Carter, and Hazard, known for being aggressive, fast players. They took a slower, more control approach against the control masters, the God RF and Awcrap. Do you think that played a role in them losing the second game?
I absolutely think so. I mean, we saw them on the backstep here. They weren't always the one controlling the pace, and they didn't just feel as comfortable. I think this is absolutely crucial. The team that controls the tempo, controls the pace, is going to come out on top.
We have Hazard, well-known, aggressive. Can he come back in this next round? And we have Carter, kind of the upstart, someone that we haven't seen a lot before. Can they get this back and take away the final game of this first set? The first set is up for grabs. Let's go to the gameplay.
All right, let's get into game number 3. Immortals going up against NRG. The winner of this game will take the set and go up 1-0 in our best of 3. Once again, we see the tombstone being dropped, but holding a little bit of elixir here. The reason you want to do that at the start is because you want to see what your opponents can do, so then you can look to counter.
Holding elixir, definitely important. But Paul, is there any drawback to holding elixir too long?
Well, it's something called leaking elixir, which is when it's just sort of being wasted if you're not using it. The team that tends to leak more elixir is usually the one that loses.
By a pretty far margin, so I've heard.
Oh, yes, indeed. You want to take advantage of all the elixir that you have at your disposal, so giving it away for free is never ideal. But now we see the push coming in on the right-hand side. That Valkyrie, though, this card is so strong at shutting down these pushes.
So far, a little more fluid movement for NRG. Could that be the difference? And here we go on the left-hand side, the Royal Hogs, and there's no answer for it, except for that tornado activating the King Tower.
Oh, that was absolutely huge. We were both gasping for air. What is going to happen here? Those cards getting so much damage in, but so much damage was done on both sides. Yes, you activated the King Tower, but at what cost?
There is so much going on here for Immortals, trying to push, trying to get through, playing slower. But as we talked about, NRG picking up the pace, so far playing nearly perfect defense, and Immortals really on their back heel.
Oh, me, oh my. This is NRG looking solid, looking aggressive. This is what they wanted to do in game number 2, and this is what they're doing here in game number 3. These Royal Hogs split beautifully, getting value across the board here. They have barely taken any damage on their towers.
That's the second time we've seen Royal Hogs split by players so far in CRL, and it's something that some people talk about being a bad idea, but we're seeing the pros make that pay off.
Oh, yes, indeed, because there's so much going on in 2v2. You have to deal with it across the board, and now it comes down to communication. Both of these teams are still fairly new at playing together, and I think we're maybe seeing it a bit here, but oh, look at that, the classic Splash Yard synergy coming in there with the Executioner, and with that Tornado, we're seeing the power of that card in this matchup.
We've seen some better use from the Inferno Dragon. Paul, when you're looking at this kind of play, what do you really want to see that Inferno Dragon do?
I really want to see that Inferno Dragon lock onto a huge tank target, because once it gets revved up, as you can see it here, watch how fast that Golem drops.
And now we have Dragon versus Dragon, the Inferno Dragon from Immortals making short work of that of NRG. But again, they're still playing against the high pace, and now we see double Royal Hogs, 8 Royal Hogs on the board. But a fireball really chews them up. But on the right-hand side, will that be enough? Down under 300 is Immortals playing for their life.
NRG saying, give me the bacon, and Immortals having to deal with that. Do you like it extra crispy? I don't know. All I know are these towers are getting oh so low.
Only at 262 on the right-hand side, just a couple of spells could put this thing away as we are in that sudden death overtime.
The Ice Wizard, oh no, a couple more attacks. There's the fireball, and that is going to be it. GG NRG taking the set 2-1. Immortals almost finding life in that set.
And that was such an amazing adjustment, Paul. When you look at what Carter and Hazard did, what stood out the most in that final game?
I think it really has to come down to playing aggressive and playing to your win condition. We talk about win conditions all the time in Clash Royale. It's that set of card, it's that combo that's going to make sure that you find those towers. But really, Immortals realized at the end of this game they had to just try and push for the win. They knew they were done, and that's what happens. NRG taking the win.
And there's some great game awareness, looking at Hazard and Carter, recognizing that tower was in danger, putting the fireball on. I've lost so many matches where I just didn't actually realize I was within spell range, and here they go, putting it away. The first set done, NRG out to the lead.
Well said, guys. Seriously, I totally agree, but let's get back to the action already, all right? Will NRG close out the match, or will Immortals prove their immortality? See what I did there? Anyway, 1v1 combatants, let's battle!
It's time for set number 2 of this match between Immortals and NRG. And coming into the arena for Immortals, 19-year-old Royal from Romania.
This guy, I like to dub him the silent assassin. He doesn't say a whole lot, but he makes big plays. This guy is an absolute beast.
He definitely speaks with his cards. Across from him, from Italy, 18-year-old Gwanak.
Gwanak, known for some crazy innovative play. you know, I have to say, like the Hog Freeze is kind of something he's known for. We'll see if it maybe makes an appearance here.
Immortals, Royal, known for playing Golem NATO to the extreme. Gwanak, known for Hog Freeze. Will we see that in the ban cards? We are about to find out what card each player will eliminate from competition. And this is a big part of the strategy. Do you play with some gamesmanship, or do you actually go after what you know is their big card? And here we go, Gwanak banning the Tornado and the 3M for Royal. Why might we make those bans?
Interesting bans coming out here. The Tornado obviously is a high skill card, using it to activate those King Towers or play clutch defense in situations. And 3M is just a card that once you can get ahead in Elixir, it can be so punishing. If you can find that opportune moment to drop the 3M, it's a beast.
If Gwanak does play that Hog Freeze, we'll know why Tornado was banned, because it is one of the best cards to play against it. What will we see from Royal? Could he be playing that Golem? Is that why he got rid of 3M? We'll see right here in our second set, the 1v1 of this matchup between Immortals and NRG. And here we go. This is off to the races.
We're both so excited. We want to get into this game right now. NRG going up against Immortals. NRG, of course, up 1-0 in this set. That's all in the back of Royal right now. He's a young guy, but he has a lot of composure. He has played so many games. He's notorious for just grinding the ladder, mastering his decks. Every single deck he plays, he wants to know inside and out.
Interesting note early on, Gwanak got the first card down. Royal letting maybe an elixir and a half go through the leakage. Could that be a factor as the game goes forward?
Especially considering he traded, even they're actually traded negative in terms of elixir on that. So we'll see how that plays out right now, as we do have the standard push coming in. But there's the Poison looking to try and shut this down, but the Giant is doing its work.
The Valkyrie eating through that Giant. Still, we have the Inferno Dragon on the board, but the Bats will take care of it. So far, pretty even between each player.
I don't think you can get more even than this. Not a single point of damage has been done across the board right now. However, Royal has found himself a slight lead in terms of elixir, and this is something that Royal is known for. He will punish any lead that he can find, but we do see the Miner coming in looking to disrupt this push.
Possibility that we're going to get a stop on that cannon cart at the river. Really nice play with the Mega Minion coming from Royal.
That was a super heads-up play, stopping that cannon cart in an ideal position there, allowing it to get chunked down by that tower. Both of these players are playing it very slow, feeling each other out to start this off. I like to see this.
We are 25 seconds from double elixir time. Both players still sitting on 2 cards. Lots of possibilities of what they could do here in the final minute.
Yeah, but looking for this Inferno Dragon. If it can get a key lock like onto this Night Witch, it can do a lot of work. However, the Bats are making quick work of it, and now the Baby Dragon's pushing down. Baby Dragon, not ideal for pushing towers, though.
Yeah, but look at that. Baby Dragon now getting 3, maybe 4 hits, taking that tower down by about 500 in the right lane. First blood drawn by Royal.
First blood drawn, and we're at double elixir time. Both of these players are playing excellent defense here. Both just cycling through these cards, looking to line up the perfect push, and already we're seeing the split pushing come out from Gwanak.
Still 4 unknown cards on the board. What kind of tricks do these guys have in their sleeve? And look at that, more elixir leakage from Royal. Will this come back and bite him as we get to the last couple seconds?
I understand. So he's balancing, leaking elixir with unit placement, finding the perfect spot to put down those troops, but it's costing him here. I'm going to be really curious to look at the leaked elixir after this game, as poisons are now being dropped for both teams. However, this is a solid push coming in from NRG. If they can get onto the tower with that Giant, this could be huge.
But here's what's great about that cannon cart. Notice that once it goes down through the first phase, second phase distracts the Giant. That's why it's a great counter.
And hey, Royal playing that Golem. This is exactly what we were looking for. Now that we're getting out of our standard play, going into overtime, watch for this Golem to start doing work.
First hit on the tower, now second hit on the tower, but Inferno Dragon lock on the left-hand side. Great use of the zap to reset.
And now we're starting to see the last few. Now we've seen every card coming out for both of these players. I'm really going to be watching to see how they utilize the final pieces of this puzzle to secure themselves the win.
Now we're looking Royal here, really out in the lead, defending this push in the left-hand lane really nicely. Paul, do you think we're going to see things start to cycle on that right-hand tower?
I would expect so, but I mean, this is actually really nice for Gwanak. He needs to keep up the pressure himself. This is exactly what he wants to look to do. He needs to keep Royal on the backside. He's intentionally split pushing onto this other tower, forcing Royal to respond, which means that he's not able to mount an effective push on the already weakened tower of Gwanak.
Great here by Gwanak, keeping this on the left-hand side away from that danger tower. And now with the poison of his own, doing some damage, trying to even the score.
I love this heads-up play from Gwanak. He identified that he was behind on this right-hand tower, so he switched up the pace, not allowing the golem to come down for Royal and finish off this right-hand tower. This is some heads-up play from him.
That might be the most important zap of the game by Royal, stopping the cannon cart from getting a lock. 1 or 2 shots could have changed the entire tenor of this game.
And it's those few tiny moments that really separate out the pros, the highest echelon of player here in this game. But now we're seeing Royal. He's finally getting impatient. He's going to drop down his golem on the right-hand side. Will that cost him, or will he be able to secure himself the win here as we see all of the troops from Gwanak pushing onto this left tower?
Is this a tower race? 1 hit from the giant, a hit from the golem. Both guys are so close, and that is it! Gwanak with the comeback, securing this game with unbelievable play. Man, Paul, you look at that last moment. Do you think that golem was a mistake?
Oh, I think it might have been just getting a little bit impatient from Royal and finding those last moments at the end of play. That is so crucial, keeping your composure. Look at the lone golem trying to outrace everything that Gwanak is throwing at him. It just wasn't going to happen.
You can see right there when the golem pushes forward, leaving no elixir really for Royal to make that defense, and that's how you adjust mid-game. Gwanak taking this game in our 1v1 set. We'll see Royal have a chance to get it back. Can he even things up and send it to a best of 3? Or are we going to see Gwanak close this thing out?
This is really going to be the big question here. Royal needs to stand strong here. He needs to not let himself get rattled. If we look here, look at that leaked elixir, 4.11 versus 2.29, almost double for Royal, and we felt it in that game.
We talked about that early on. We saw the leaked elixir, and this is important for you playing at home. The person who leaks the most elixir tends to lose the match by a wide margin, and we saw that here. Royal was making some great plays, but eventually that caught up to him, and Gwanak was able to punish. And notice that he leaked 4 elixir. If he'd leaked 2 less, he might have had that defense. NRG leads 1 set to nothing, but more importantly, in our second set, they lead 1 game to nothing. All they needed is a win here, and that will be game, set, match for NRG.
This is absolutely huge. Immortals might go out 0-2. That's not the way they want to start their season. NRG showing that they have built themselves a powerhouse roster.
Can Royal keep them alive, or will Gwanak close this thing out? We're about to find out. Game number 2 is on its way. What will we see this time? Paul, we saw before, sometimes people don't play their favorite win condition, their favorite card early on. Could we see Gwanak bring that hog out this game?
I think it's definitely possible. It's all about that mind game here as well. And speaking of mind games, holding elixir at the start, you generally don't want to be the one to go first because it gives you a moment to respond. And as we're going to see here, the E-Wiz is going to cross the river and actually make it easier to take down for Royal.
Royal's Valkyrie pushing forward. Again, we want to watch that elixir. It's so important, played a key role in the first game.
Yeah, and already we're seeing a little bit of leak coming in here from Royal. Once again, the miner on the right-hand side. Gonna get a little bit of chip, but already we're seeing that E-Wiz pop down here as well. Nice cleanup on that Inferno Dragon, or at least some initial damage on that Inferno Dragon as well. The Minions, pretty good at that.
A lot of area of effect, multiple target cards so far from Royal. The Bandit coming through, and here's a card we didn't expect to see, the Bowler.
The Bowler coming out. This card is amazing at shutting down pushes, high health pool, and just the ability to deny a lot of that forward-facing aggression. And also, if he can get on a tower, he does some damage his own right, but I love this. The Mega Knight coming in. What a push from Gwanak.
There is so much elixir on the board for Gwanak right now. So much opportunity to do damage, but a great Inferno Dragon to counter that from Royal.
Yeah, Inferno Dragons on both sides now with a leap connect. No, shutting him down in midair from the top rope, not going to land. But let's talk about this interaction between the Inferno Dragon and the Electro Wizard.
That Wizard can shut down Inferno Dragon, but we did have the tower to support, and that's why it got through. Kind of an even trade at that point, even though there's a slight difference in elixir.
Oh yes, indeed. That E-Wiz so good at shutting down the Inferno Dragon because it stops it from getting up that channeling ability and ramping up that true damage. But the Bandit here is back in play, but I love this positioning from the Bowler, utilizing the health pool of that troop to just soak up that charge.
Great value from the Bandit, stopping the E-Wiz, putting some damage on the Bowler, and now that Inferno Dragon should take care of him again.
Oh yes, indeed, and once again, this Mega Knight Inferno Dragon push coming out from Gwanak. Royal needs to respond to this here, but here comes the Poison, getting maximum value, connecting onto basically all the troops who are actually not finding that Inferno Dragon. Maybe a slight misplay there.
In double elixir time, 38 seconds left, we see the first real damage. Using that zap to retarget the Inferno Dragon, the Mega Knight gets a hit on the left-hand tower, but now it's time for Royal to make a counter of his own.
I love this combination coming out here from Royal. The Poison and the Graveyard doing its work, but still, we see the counter pressure now coming in from Gwanak. That is a whole lot of pressure on this left-hand side. Watch how fast that boulder drops.
The Inferno Dragon gets a couple of ticks in the left-hand tower, but as we move into that sudden death overtime, pretty even, just about a 300 hit point lead from Gwanak.
Nothing too substantial here from him, and I imagine both players, they need to not get too over-aggressive. In the case of Royal, we don't want a repeat of last game, because of course we have to remind you, if he loses this game, Immortals is done.
But so far, holding Stour, the Poison from Gwanak doing some good damage, but it looks like Royal could be setting up a Graveyard push, and here we go.
Here it comes again. The minions are there as well, with the Poison to try and clean them up. The Ewiz is there. Beautiful positioning on that, getting that initial splash damage down, and now they're going to be able to push forward. That Golem, so that Graveyard Poison, I should say, getting pretty good value, but it's not really feeling the high impact combo we expected.
Gwanak now trying to make his counter push. Really good use of the miners so far, getting little chip damage here and there and being a great distraction.
Yes, indeed, but we are now seeing that Inferno Dragon once again. Inferno Dragon has been a crucial component of both of these teams' decks, especially adding in this Mega Knight. We've seen this tried and true push from Gwanak. He's going to look to get the final chip damage in place.
Why would Royal put that bowler there in the center like that?
Well, he's really trying to bring that Mega Knight over, so allowing both Princess Towers to get the damage there in those key moments, get those final shots in. But now, as we are ticking into overtime, we're really looking for these teams to try and mount the final push and get those key combos off. I'm really watching for the Poisons.
Now we are in that sudden death overtime with only a minute 40 left before this thing would accidentally draw all the way out. Neither player wants that. Who can make the big push, the big move to seal this thing right now?
Well, both these players want to make it happen, but using Poison like this is not ideal for Royal. He really wants to try and use those, so it also affects that Princess Tower, like we are seeing Gwanak doing right now, so they can slowly cycle this through. They have enough time that if they can play defensive, they can keep up this pressure, they can literally spell cycle this through with Poison, and we're seeing it happening right now. The lead is handily in favor of Gwanak, which means that Royal needs to find the key push he cannot win in terms of spell trade.
Huge E-Wiz play from Royal, making the way for the Inferno Dragon. If he can get more value here, take care of that second E-Wiz, that thing could really pay off.
Oh yes, indeed, but great positioning on that Valkyrie once again to pull the Mega Knight into the mid, but the Miner is in the back once again, slowly wearing this down, add the Poison into the mix. Something needs to change for Royal. If this continues the way it is, this is going to be all Gwanak and NRG.
Getting really good value as Royal with that Inferno Dragon defensively, but with only 40 seconds left, not making the offensive play needed. We only have about 334 hit points left in that left-hand tower. With 30 seconds left, can Gwanak close this thing out?
Miner and Poison, those are the cards that I'm looking for right now. The Miner is going in the back. There's the Poison to follow up, and I believe this could be it. 1 or 2 more hits. Is that going to be enough? Trying to defend it, and
that is it. The clean sweep from NRG. Only 2 sets up, 2 sets down. Your victor here, NRG.
NRG giving the room its energy right now, feeling amazing in this set, only dropping 1 game total to Immortals. This roster is looking so strong.
Unbelievable play by Gwanak to close this thing out. Really, really impressive. We expected to see Hog freeze, especially when we saw the Tornado being banned, which again can be used to activate the King Tower or pull him away and make it get no value. But instead, he switches it up, takes this thing, closes it out, and let's look again at that leaked elixir. This time, NRG with way more, but still able to pay that thing off. Gwanak taking the victory.
Having a slightly faster rotation really helped him out here. I think it's interesting also to note that just because at one point these players were known for a set style or a set combo, they're not above adapting. They will find those decks that win. They will push the meta even farther forward, and I love that here. Just because you're known for a combo doesn't mean you're limited to that.
That's pro-level play. You know, a lot of you playing at home probably get down with 1 or 2 decks, really get used to it, but here we can see some of the great moves NRG getting that minor in the back, and just not quick enough responses from Royale.
If you're looking to help grind yourself up the ladder, minor poison is always a good combo to do that with. It just allows you so many options on the field. When your opponent overcommits to a push, you can exploit it.
If you want to play like this at home, guys, take some time, put some effort into challenges, into tournaments, get that kind of style of play in there, familiarize yourself with different kind of decks like these guys do, and that's how you can be like Gwanak, who seals the victory here for NRG.
Oh, yes, indeed. And of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you want to get better at the game, be sure to follow all of the action here. Watching these pros play every single week is a great way to up your game.
The first 2 matches for North America are in the books. Let's take a look at the standings.
We're seeing Complexity and NRG taking their matches, sitting at the top of our leaderboard here. And of course, they're sitting in that crucial 1 through 4 position.
It's a long season, but a first round win, great to put you 1 step closer to the World Finals. Right now, let's go to Christy St. John, who's standing by with Carter from NRG.
Thanks, guys. So, Carter, your team just won. How's it feel?
Feels great. I'm super excited. It's a lot of preparation, a lot of stuff has gone into this, so to come out on top feels amazing.
Absolutely. And you also beat Immortals. Is that good? Is that bad? Tell me more.
It's pretty good. We know a lot of the guys from the Immortals team, so I feel a little bit bad for them, but at the end of the day, we got to do what we got to do to take out the
Yeah, I got to
win.
feel bad for the losers, but at the end of the day, they're still losers. All right, so let's go back to your match. So your 2v2, you had a great graveyard freeze play in the first game. Can you tell me about that and where that comes from?
Yeah, so they banned poison, so like our first deck that we had prepared for a poison ban was a graveyard freeze deck. And so with the poison not being able to answer the graveyard, you have to have a lot of you have to space out your troops really well to counter a graveyard freeze. And fortunately, we were able to capitalize early whenever they were in a bad cycle and just take an early tower, and then we just played defense.
Absolutely. And then I noticed that you did the same kind of graveyard freeze for the second game. It didn't work out as well. Can you tell me how that deck matchup really didn't work out for you guys?
Yeah, so we didn't have any buildings, and they had a Royal Giant, which can pretty quickly lock on to our tower. And we also didn't have like a P.E.K.K.A. or anything that could really shred through that Royal Giant very quickly. And on top of that, for our graveyard freeze, they had flying machines, which were able to snipe the graveyards from a distance, so we couldn't really freeze everything. So they played it really well. It was a little bit of a tough matchup, but definitely GG to that game.
Absolutely. And then that third match, you came back and won. Can you tell me the strategy for picking that deck? It didn't come from the ban, so what did it come from?
Well, we were expecting them to run either the same thing with like Royal Giant or maybe a Golem or something like that. And so we ran a deck with a lot of cards that can deal with tanks like P.E.K.K.A., Tombstone, Inferno Dragon, just a ton of counters to that. And then on top of that, we apply a lot of split lane pressure with Royal Hogs.
Yeah, that split lane pressure was absolutely killer on there. You guys really, really did that well. Is that something you practice?
Oh yeah, for sure. We've practiced just about everything you can imagine at this point.
I gotcha. So you've won. What do you feel is next?
Next, we're going to beat CLG.
I like it. So CLG, absolutely watch out. And back to you guys. Take us out.
Thanks, Christy. That's it today for the first round of Clash Royale League. But don't you worry, we have CRL coming at you 6 days a week. Tune back in tomorrow for the first match of CRL EU.
And of course, remember to come back on a Wednesday and meet the rest of the teams here in CRL North America.
We are in for a big, fun season. Don't forget to hit subscribe on YouTube for Clash Royale Esports. For CRL, I'm Rich Slayton. This is Inverum, aka Paul Toddkill. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thus ends a day of battle that will go down in history. Let the scores be etched in time, and verily, let the standings reflect the results. I, for one, am exhausted. Please, subscribe to the Clash Royale Esports channel, and stay tuned for all of the action leading to the CRL World Finals. This is the Clash Royale League.